All right, YouTube, let's go ahead and try this again. All right, so this is my 2003 Dodge Durango with a Magnum 5.9. This is the all-wheel drive model, and I'm making this video because there's not a lot of information on cammed Durangos, and this one has the comp cams, computer controlled cam, the largest one in here. I'll put the cam number in the description, but this is the largest of the three computer controlled cams. It's the 512 lift with the stock Magnum 1.6 rocker ratio, and it's the 210-220 duration, and it is on the 112 lobe separation. And this Durango has a completely fresh 5.9 in it. It is stock bore, but it is completely fresh. Has about 300 miles on it. And when the engine was redone, I put this camshaft in it. And it is completely stock configuration. So you can see I still have the stock manifolds with the heat shields installed on here. This was just for essentially testing purposes. I wanted to see how well it worked with the stock exhaust. I already have headers, and I'm going to fabricate a complete exhaust system for this because the aftermarket is junk for exhaust system choices. So I just wanted to show you guys under here that it still has the factory cat, because it's right there. And this did pass emissions. So this has got the stock Chrysler muffler on it, so right there. And of course the stock 2.5 inch tailpipe. So, you know, it's still, so the exhaust system on these things kind of suck. So I'm thinking with a motor of this size and how tiny the exhaust is, it's really hurting this camshaft, but it did make a huge power increase in here. I mean, these things factory 0 to 60 in like 11 seconds, which is might have been good for 2003, but today that's pretty sad. So I'm gonna try to get you guys a cold start here. So I'm gonna prop this up, and yeah, get you guys a cold start here. And as you guys can hear, this thing actually lopes pretty good. So, I mean, for stock exhaust, I think that sounds fantastic. Obviously, with the manifolds up here, you can really, it sounds like a completely stock Durango up here. Now, when you're sitting inside, you can feel that it's loping a little bit, but you can see in here, that it idles just like stock. You know, everything works in here. You know, you can feel a little bit of rumble, and power is up literally everywhere. Fuel economy is to be determined. It was pretty bad when the engine was first rebuilt, obviously because the rings weren't seated. But now that it's got roughly 400 something miles on it, I think now 300, 400, somewhere around there. I'd have to look up the number. It was rebuilt at 148,000. I think, I don't remember if it was 800 or 900, but somewhere around there. And I've already done a couple oil changes on it to make sure that everything is good. This one, of course, died from the magnum intake plenum leak. Essentially, they sucked all the motor oil into the engine and drove it until this thing ate the bearings. So this one's got a completely different block in it. So the whole rotating assembly and everything was completely trashed in the other engine. So this one's got a new motor in it that is completely redone. So it's got, well, everything. It's new. The only change I really made is I put a double roller timing chain in it, and I put that comp cams cam. I did the Hughes spring and retainer kit to fit the camshaft, because you definitely need those, otherwise you're gonna have some serious issues with this much lift. And then I also self-ported the cylinder heads. So but other than that, so ported heads, springs and retainers, camshaft, double roller timing chain, and other than that, this is stock configuration for now. Like I said, I'm going to be upgrading the exhaust here in a little bit. I just need to get a little bit more money so I could buy all the parts, and I'm going to completely fabricate a mandrel bent system for this thing. I'm deciding on whether I'm going to go with stainless or just mild steel. I have mild steel stuff laying around, so I'd only need V-bands and a muffler, but we'll see. I constantly change my mind. So, but this one is an SLT. It's the all-wheel drive model. So, and I actually grabbed the same seats out of an RT. So this one doesn't have the RT badging on it. Chrysler was weird. They offered like 20 million seat options and varieties. So for all intents and purposes, this thing is an RT with exception of the gears. So this still has 355s in it, not the 392s that an RT would have came with. But I guarantee you this would gap us. This would gap an RT. And honestly, on the stuff that I've seen from even the Shelby Durangos, this thing would probably hold its own against a Shelby Durango right now. And I think with the exhaust, I'm going to see a huge gain in performance. So I will follow up when that happens. Just waiting the motor to warm up a little bit since it is a new motor. I'll try to get you guys some revs with the stock exhaust. It's pretty weak with this muffler, but gets us some revs and then we'll get this over with. All right, post an update when I'm done.